Yeah, hello everyone. Good morning and good evening to everyone who are participated from different parts of the world. So my name is Shekhar. Uh, One second. My name is Shekhar. I am the technical architect. Uh, architect. So today I am going to have a session on the SharePoint framework. SharePoint framework, that is nothing but SPFX. So which is a high demanded course. Otherwise you can say it is the market is having a lot of opportunities on this SharePoint framework. So which is introduced in SharePoint 2016. Earlier there are a lot of drawbacks with the client-side object model, server-side object model. So in the coming to the old versions of the SharePoint, they keep on updating the versions from, okay, if you compare it from March 2007 to 2019, like earlier we are having WSP packages to build a solution in the SharePoint where we use the server-side code, server-side trusted code like C# we used in March 2007. We work with the C# code. So C# code we used we used to have only C# code during the time, and we use a WSP packages we used to build a SharePoint project. So that time we use the C# code, and for the deployment we use the WSP packages. So but the time there is when the page is once we develop a web part, like they call the web part, is nothing but a user control. So user control or a web part, once we deploy to the server, because in March 2007 or 2010 we are going to deploy into the server itself. So when we deploy a web part using WSP package, and when the web part is added to a SharePoint page, so when we are requesting the page, requesting from a machine, from my machine, let us say my machine or laptop, you can say mobile, or you can say anything, any device, let us say iPod, something like that. So the request from here is reaching to this to the server, SharePoint SP server. So the request that I am hitting from my machine is going to the server, and the response we are getting from the SP server is taking lot of time, and it's rendering a lot of time to display data, to display whatever it is, display data to the SharePoint page. Page consumes lots of time. Okay, so when the request is coming from the local machine, some, like let us say my machine or a mobile, I can say anything, and the response from the server is taking lots of time, and due to that it is giving auto post back, you can say, that is called auto post back. So this is like this is a lot of drawbacks. This is nothing but a cons. So there is a lot of pros and cons. So they Microsoft come up with the SharePoint 2010. In SP 2010 they introduced the CSOM. There is nothing but CSOM, client-side object model. To overcome client-side JavaScript, otherwise you can call as JavaScript JSON, JavaScript object model. So in 2010 they introduced the client-side object model, even though they introduced the new model which to overcome the drawbacks of the earlier versions, like rendering the data, and it is hitting to the request is going to the SharePoint server, and response is taking a lot of time due to the auto post backs on the page. So they try to integrate the JavaScript or script related code in the client side itself. So using this, we no need to go to interact directly to the server from the client itself. You can write the code in the browser itself. We can execute the code, but here still we have the drawbacks. What is the drawback is, suppose I have a page where I am working a JavaScript. The same page can be accessible by other developer. He can also do the same page with some other control. So the both developers can able to access on the same page. So that is the reason you can say that is a big drawback, because the both developers is able to access the same page, and there is a chance to remove or replace. So there is like a drawback in that. So there is no a common point like where they are coordinate each other and do the changes. So no, there is no governance on it. There is nothing but. So then SP 2013 come up with a app model. App model is nothing but self-hosted and SharePoint hosted apps. So this app model also remotely we can connect with the server, and do components can be developed very easily. So even though the app model, app catalog, you need to have the authentication before to access there is a drawbacks also. Still here also, what are the drawbacks is, to deploy any auto-hosted or self-hosted, or nothing but auto or self, both are same. Self for SharePoint hosted app, in order to deploy into the SharePoint form, so the user should have the authentication mechanism that should be authenticated every time, and also it should work on the iframe. So it works on the iframe, and it won't work. We will not get anything from the DOM. So we will not able to access, not able to get element from the element from the DOM. So this is a big drawback, DOM. So then in 2016 they introduced this called SPFX. So this is like a lot of changes happened in SharePoint 2016. So what is the SharePoint framework? What is the benefit of it? What is the overview of the SharePoint framework? I'll discuss now. The SharePoint, what is SPFX? SharePoint framework. As per the MSDN definition, what exactly the SPFX is? It is a page and a web part, like it's not a web part model that provides full support for client-side SharePoint development, for the easy integration with SharePoint data, and extending with the Microsoft Teams as well. So the definition is like, is a web part model. It provides full support, end-to-end support from the SharePoint development, and we can do easily integration with SharePoint data and extending with the Microsoft Teams as well. So here there are modern technologies like open source tools also integrated with. You can easily use in the SPFX framework. So the latest version and all the previous versions of the SharePoint framework are hosted and available in SharePoint Online. It is available for only SharePoint 2016 with Feature Pack 2 and also SharePoint 2019. So what are the key features? So it is available with SP 2016 with 2016 with Service Feature Pack 2, 2016 Feature Pack 2 and SP 2019. So what are the key features? Key features are, what are the key features? So it runs on the current context of the user. So we don't have the option to run the context of the current user. So, and also we have the directly connect to the browser. It's nothing but here there is no framework. There is no framework here. No iframe here. There is no iframe here. So there is no iframe here. Earlier we have a drawback where we will have to the access only the iframe. So for the customization, we don't need to worry about the DOM to pull the data from the browser or anything we can do. So that the controls which we developed, we can directly render from the DOM. So the controls whatever we developed using SPFX, the controls can be rendered normally from the DOM. So this like it is enables the developers to render easily the data or whatever it is very easily. So coming to actually it's nothing but SPFX is nothing but it is a tool. It's called as a toolbox chain. What is a toolbox chain actually? So it is a toolbox chain. It's called as a toolbox chain. Toolbox chain. So it is a toolbox chain. What it is? Toolbox chain. Toolbox is like open source, because this is open source technology introduced. So there will have a lot of open source tools available in the internet. You can say there are a lot of open source tools such as NPM, TypeScript, and Yeoman and Gulp. These are so many things are introduced. Like they will be used as a open source client development tools. Let us say what is the open source client development tools. So you can say one is the NPM. So NPM, earlier we have the same like NuGet packages in olden days, not in olden days, during the when we are doing any development using Visual Studio, there we will add the NuGet packages. From there the NuGet packages we will add classes, namespaces. Using that we will add the NuGet. The same way here we have the NPM. So next one is after the TypeScript. TypeScript is very important. To TypeScript is the latest tool, open source tool, which is used by SPFX. SharePoint framework will use the TypeScript. Earlier we have the C# that is replaced now. Now we have the Gulp. So the Gulp is nothing but Gulp is nothing but earlier we have the build, MS build. Let us say what a Gulp exactly will do. So let us say what as I said, C# is replaced with the TypeScript. Whenever we write a code in the TypeScript, that extension will be a .ts. But our ASP page or HTML page or whatever a development page will not understand that language that is written in the .ts. So in order to understand the .ts, so Gulp will help. Gulp is a tool that will help to convert the TS file to the .js or .html, so that our ASPX page or HTML page will understand from that. So Gulp is a tool which will be used. I said it's like a build tool. Like we can know how we will build in earlier in the Visual Studio. There is option like build, deploy, solution. Like the same, we here using the Gulp we can deploy and build the solution using whatever in the SharePoint framework, the TypeScript what we are written there. So that Gulp is there. And last one is Yeoman. Yeoman is nothing but here earlier we have the Visual Studio, Visual Studio AD, right? The same thing here we have the Yeoman. Yeoman is a tool where we can write the code. These are the tools. Tool chain is a collection of tool chain where we use these kind of development environment we need to build. So later sessions I'll definitely tell how we will use the SharePoint framework and how we will create a project there and how we will deploy there. So what is that I'll tell the next session. No need to worry. So in order to overcome the iframe and all, this was introduced in 2016. So next, how to get started with the app model, SharePoint framework model. So what is the first step? What is the first step to start? So for this we need to set up a what we need to set up a Microsoft Office tenant, MS Office tenant, MS nothing but Office 365 tenant, O365 tenant. Why? Because we need to create an app catalog site. To build or deploy a client-side web parts using SharePoint framework, we need the Office 365 tenant. Suppose what we need the Office 365 tenant is nothing but we need, because we want to develop a SharePoint framework SPFX web parts. We need to have the SharePoint tenant access. Even we don't have suppose in the case where we don't have the global admin permission on the tenant, no need to worry. At least we should have the app catalog. On the app catalog site we should have the admin permission. Then we are able to do the build and deploy on a particular website. So here once the tenant is ready, once the SharePoint tenant is ready, create a app catalog site. Next first step is, once the tenant is ready, I have created a tenant with a site, then create an app catalog site. This is important. Catalog site. Create an app catalog site. How we will create the app catalog site? So go to the central administration of the tenant. So from there we will have the option to create a app catalog site. Okay, so there, once the app catalog is created, then what we have to do is we need to know once the app catalog is ready, what we have to do is we need to create a site collection. Then next step is site collection creation. Site collection. So you need to have site collection and site for this for the testing. Any template, whatever the template you have, you can create some site. Then there is a concept called very important. It is called the SharePoint workbench. Workbench. So what is SharePoint workbench? Basically, SharePoint workbench is a developer design thing, like which will easily preview, like suppose you developed anything that we want to see before publishing. So for in that case, SharePoint workbench is a tool that we can use. We can preview it, any web part we developed and we have not deployed to any SharePoint. So then we can test the web parts using the SharePoint workbench. So SharePoint framework developer toolchain contains a version of the workbench. Okay, that can be we can deploy locally, that works from the locally, as well as we can build in any server. So without SharePoint also we can run this workbench using some port. So that is locally also we can do the things. So next thing is how to set up the development environment. So we will learn, like suppose I want to how to set up a SharePoint framework. Next is very important, and it is a SharePoint framework SPFX dev environment. Okay, how we will do this dev environment? So you can use Visual Studio or your custom development environment to build SharePoint framework solutions. So what do you mean by it? Like you can own custom environment, means it will any platform is also fine. Earlier Visual Studio is there, then it will accept only Windows Server, and there is specific only it should run on the IIS Express, like that. So the IIS Express is replaced with the Node.js in the SharePoint framework. If you have it's what it is a custom development environment to build SharePoint framework solution. So how we will do? We can use on a Mac also, it's possible, like you can see Windows is already there and Linux. So these environments as well, this SPFX will support. So that is the main advantage of the. So here next thing is as I said, IIS is not required. So all SPFX runs on the Node.js, Node.js. So this is also, and we should not take the latest version of the Node.js. We need to take the LTS 10.x. This is the version we need to install. So the version is currently recommended. Actually, recommended version of the Node.js is LTS 10.x. This is the important interview question, like ask what is that LTS? That is LTS is 10.x. So there is a lot of versions available, but we should not that won't work. So they will ask what is LTS. Long-term support is nothing but a long-term support. So long-term support 10.x is supported for our SPFX framework. So this works. Node.js works like a, how it works? It works like a IIS. Node.js is replaced with IIS. It works like a IIS 6.0 or whatever it is. So like this, we can use any code editor IDE that supports client development to build a web part. So here no need to go for only Visual Studio. Earlier we used only Visual Studio, right? Then now only Visual Studio is not required. We can use any IDE, like let us say VS Code. There is a like VS Code. It don't require Windows Server and all. It will be run on the Mac also. Any platform in the sense Linux, Mac or anything. There is few tools IDE called Autumn and WebStorm. These are the few tools IDEs where our SPFX will work. So we will learn next sessions with how we will develop the tool chain, like how to install it and all. We will learn in the later sessions how to start a programming and how we will develop there. I will let you know. I'll teach you a sequentially. So what I'll teach, what are the client side web parts. So those I'll teach you, and what is the client web parts behind SharePoint, and what are the properties and all I'll tell you, and what are the UI branding, Office UI framework which is there in the SharePoint framework. We'll teach you, and how we will implement in the real time, in the practice, in the real environment, what exactly we are going to use. So where it will use, like online or SharePoint on premises, where exactly we will use, I'll teach you. So hope you understand the Workbench as well. So Workbench we can preview it before deploying. It's nothing but it's a testing. When you want to test locally using some port, the port number is 4321. Port number is 4321. Under 4321, this also question. Under 4321, we need to add this port and locally. Suppose we want to run the application, then we will add the port into the local. So finally, now we have here also we have some tools. As I told, toolchain. As part of the toolchain, we already aware of. I said the Office UI framework. This is also important, Office UI framework. The earlier we don't have, we have only the CSS and all, right? So earlier we have CSS files, but now they introduce the Office UI framework, where you can directly drag and drop your calendar control buttons with it's having a good look, beautiful look. So officially they added the Office UI framework to it. So it is out of the box, so no need to worry, no need to customize anything. So Office UI framework is very latest technology here. So we can having a rich look for this. We can have so many advantage for this. Earlier we have only the CSS, right? So that will be overcome here with the Office UI framework. Yeah, so next we'll go to the now what I can tell you is what are the how we will write the TypeScript and all. I will teach you in the next section. What are the client web parts and what is the different type of web parts available in the 2016, and what are the collaborations we can do using the here in using SPFX, how to insert, how to update, how to display, and also no introduction to PNP. Yeah, PNP tool I will teach you in the next video. So this is what I cover in this video. Thank you everyone for watching this video. Please feel free to comment if you need any, like if you want more videos or if you want any help regarding the trainings. I provide different trainings and certifications. Please feel free to reach me if required. Thank you all. Thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you.